Thanks a lot. Really appreciate for your time. And this is the session that we are conducting after almost more than 3 months now, because we started this journey with a very closed loop. In terms of our expectation was that we are going to perform a journey where we are going to see the capabilities and the functionalities of Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. And this is what we are conducting a free training course for everyone who wants to learn about Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. So let's begin our session today, which is you can say season 2, configuration and customization and a development series. And it is more related to the, you can say, open discussion that we are going to do it in today's session, and in which we will have a quick recap of what we had done, we have completed last time, and what's the objective that we are looking into it for the next level. So let us start with the introduction. My name is Adnan Jalees, and I'm the solution architect, Dynamics 365 practice lead at Litz Group. And currently, I have been working in different, you can say, level of the projects in Middle East, UK, and Africa region, which you can say in terms of managing the SME till corporate organization. In terms of the experience that I'm conducting here is morely on the IP product, which comes, you can say, with different, you can say, business roles. A part of it, definitely, because I am also part of the community, and this is what I'm trying to, you can say, collaborate as much as possible here. So this is you can say a little bit about myself. You can also approach me on my personal email address. You can also get connected on LinkedIn, and there are multiple ways to, you can say, approach and get connected. And I will like to ask Mr. Wahaj if he can also explain about himself. Then we will go.
Thank you, Adnan. My name is Wahaj Rashid. I work in Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer engagement and Power Platform. I have around now 12 years experience, so I'll update this slide next time. and Yeah, from last almost 6 years, I'm in UAE, working as more like a solution architect or advisory on Power Platform and customer engagement apps. Initially, I started as a developer. Then, of course, during the span of time, I turned into more techno-functional. Other than that, I am also now, working for Customer Insights, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. I'm also very active on the community. You can reach me on the LinkedIn, it's given here, or you can email me, or I also do blogging, which is crmnostrowordpress.com. Yeah, I think let's move on,
Yeah,
save
that's
time.
great. That's great. That's great. So let's start our session by, you can say, just reviewing the housekeeping stuff. First of all, every participant will be muted, uh, except presenter, because this is what they have to explain. But you can interrupt us by the time that if you have any question. Also, you can post your questions in a QA section, or you can unmute yourself by the time you speak. Uh, Also, this session is going to be recorded and is being happening, and the recording will be posted or published on YouTube channel. And really appreciate for your time once again and your cooperation. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask. In terms of QA section usage, you can use the option which is the Q&A, and you can post your question over there. And by the time that we will get a chance, that we will also respond you back. One of us or any one of the participants will help you to answer the question. The agenda that we are going to cover today, first of all, we will talk about the objective of our training camp. This is very important, that what we are going to cover during this phase, because this phase consists around 2 months. We are targeting now, because we have end of July, August, September. And definitely we have some other plans also by the time that we are conducting these sessions. And this is what we will let you know by the time that we are planning anything. Definitely it will be a long run show that we are going to host. Also, we will look into the recap, what we had done previously. We will talk about some of the, you can say, terminologies that we normally use. We will talk about the architecture, and we will also talk about the development scenarios and the skill set that are required. And also, we will also discuss about what's going to be happen within this session. Okay. First of all, what we need from you, we need you to attend the live session regularly so that you will be much familiar. And even though you can also ask us in terms of if you have any query, if you have any questions, so that we can have a, you can say, quite healthy discussion. And also, we would prefer if you are using the Dynamics 365 platform, then definitely we are expecting that you are going to practice it and as well as you are going to learn it. So as soon as you are practicing it, definitely it is going to enhance or increase your knowledge and the skill set. And don't shy to ask question. Whatever the question is, you can ask us. And the main point is whoever is joining us live. So definitely end of the session, we are going to give some surprises as well as we will give some special announcements for the people who are being regular attendee in our session. The training camp objective is to just empower and enable you to learn Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform in a very deeper way so that you will make yourself comfortable in terms of using the product and the solution. And this is what we are going to share all our expertise and experience with all the participants, as well as we are also encouraging the people who can also collaborate. Means this is not the session that we both are running. It's your session. It's your, you can say, platform. You can be also part of the, you can say, the journey. Even though if you have any point or any, you can say, topic that you would like to discuss, please feel free to contact us. Definitely, we will arrange a session that where you can have open-end discussions and as well as the you can say the uh, features that you want to discuss about it, the capabilities, or even you can also discuss about your experiences. So we are open to do it. Okay, and definitely by helping, you can say, start our journey from very basic level, then it gradually it is going to be the advanced level. So this is what we are expecting. Most of the time that you may feel that this is something that I already knew about it. Why am I having this session or I am conducting? It's good to have it just for the revision. And definitely we are going to explore the bigger screen of the, you can say, the objective that we are going to follow. So definitely you will see some growth in your skill set as well as in the experience. So in terms of the sharing all of the details, because the presentation that we will use as well as the scenarios, case studies, whatever we are discussing in a session, they will be also available in OneDrive and the recording will be available on our YouTube channel. So whenever we are posting anything, we are publishing. So we normally publish on our YouTube channel, but for the workshop related stuff, in terms of the case study, in terms of some development practices, even the scenarios that we are going to cover in the future, everything you will find there on the OneDrive. And even though you will have the access on the OneDrive, so you can also see our previous sessions, means you can get the links, you can also get the material of our previous session that we had conducted in our last journey. Now, if we talk about particularly for the journey that we are going to follow, mean which you can say we are going to follow in our this current phase, we are going to cover in two parts. One, as I mentioned earlier, that we will start with the basic and we'll go with the advanced level. So basic, it includes the data modeling. It's just like how you are going to create the forms and the fields, mean that's a table, forms, fields, how you are going to do it, how you are going to enable the business rules, how you are going to utilize the XRM client library, which is the JavaScript part, and also how the Dynamics 365 processes will help you to automate the business routine. And also we will cover the topic related to the Power Automate. So this is the basic level that we are going to cover in the first. You may see in next 2 or 3 or 4 sessions, you will see the basic one, but definitely we are going to cover up the advanced development modules, which comes with the JavaScripting, plugin development, third-party integration, and APIs, also the solution migration. And this is not limited to this. Definitely, we are going to add some more topics within the advanced development. So by the time that we are going to cover any topic or something is remain, we are going to add in a future, or you can say very short, you can say notice. Okay. The future goal that we have it in this training workshop, definitely we are expecting, because we started the journey from the CE level, you can say the customer engagement platform, but definitely we are going to we have expectation that we are going to cover the field service topics, marketing topics, project operation, as well as their advanced development on the Power Platform, tips and tricks, plus the finance and operation. So these are the objectives that we are to cover, and most probably by the end of the this training workshop, you will be get notified that okay, what's kind of the further session that we are going to conduct. Previously, we have covered sales and the customer service. Now we are targeting in the development. Then in the near future, we are targeting to the exploring the more modules. If we talk about the Dynamics 365, what's inside in the Dynamics 365? Actually, Dynamics 365 is just like a product line. You can consider it as a uh, collaboration, or it's a kind of the solution which offers by the Microsoft, which has the capabilities of CRM solution plus ERP solution. So front desk automation and back office operation are now collaborative in a one single product, which call it Dynamic 365. Previously, if you see around, you can say 4 or 5 years back, you might see there's a different solution. CRM is a different, ERP is different, and even in the ERP there's a different modules you may see it in the past. But now what's being happening from the Microsoft, they have aligned each and every product in a single line of the business. So means the people who are using the back office operation system, they were using previously AX, now in Dynamics 365, they have the functionality, very advanced, you can say advanced level of the functionalities of the sales, marketing, field level operation, even the marketing capabilities, it integrated with all in one. So it's a kind of, you can say, seamless integration platform that you are going to see on the Dynamics 365. If we talk about the Power Apps, Power Apps is just like, you can say, it's a business intelligence app development platform which provides the extendability of the solution. As I mentioned earlier, that previously we had a limited functionalities. To overcome that functionality, Microsoft providing Power Apps solution, where we have the provision that we can build our own customized model by using the Power Apps. Let's take example. If you are not going to use the traditional sales management system, if you are not happy with the customer service with your traditional system, but you have your own customized business-oriented models, you can also choose Power Apps for the development. Why it is recommended? Because it's a low code, which encourages the citizen developer to adopt the technology as a fast manner. Who is a citizen developer? Citizen developer is a person or a team who doesn't know the code, but they know the technology, they know the business process, and they can design the forms, they can design the solution, and in a very quick manner, they can publish it. So PowerS provide you the functionality where you can write and run the low code program by using the expression logic that will help you to just quickly develop any solution and deploy, and which will help you to automate all the business processes and the business routines. So this is what the objective that you will find in there in the Power Apps platform. Now it comes to the Dataverse. It's just like a basic where you are going to store or manage the data. Previously, we had seen in the past SQL Server was there. Now everything comes up on the cloud with the application. Now in the Dataverse, you have the capabilities that you have the basic model or basic framework of the app, which is just like a basic user management, contact management, account management. You have the basic routines, security roles, and you have the database connected with it. And now you have the provision that you can have your own model-driven app or a Canvas app. And this is what we are going to discuss, means how you can differentiate the Canvas app and how you are going to differentiate the model-driven app. But Dataverse is going to provide you the functionality that it is going to be built for the business application. Now, if you don't have the application which is related to the sales, customer service, field service, or even something is different, you have it, you can build your own business model on the Dataverse, plus you have the Power Apps. So by using the both combination, because again, it comes under the same Power Platform. So that Dataverse, it will help you to provide you the management of the data, which is securely hosted on the cloud. And on the top of it, you are going to build your own app by using the Power Apps there. Okay. Now, if we talk about the Dynamics 365 ecosystem, because as I mentioned earlier, quite a while ago, that Dynamics comes with a different platform, different solutions, different modules are there. So if we categorize it, we can categorize it in a broader way. There are four, but if you see in the depth, you will may find 9 different segments. One is related to the ERP solution, where you have the ERP solution related to the business domain. So you have the finance, means the finance operations there, Dynamics 365 Commerce is there, business central is there, supply chain, human resource, project operations. So these are the all related to the ERP modules. But if we talk about the CRM modules, you will find 4 prominent modules which are readily available, and you can configure even as a standard one, or you can extend it based on the business need. You have these 4 models, a part of the project services or project operation, because the project operations totally depends on the operation type that you are going to use it. So it may be CRM level, or it can be a kind of the solution that it is hosted on a CRM plus ERP. So it totally depends on the deployment node. But if you talk about particularly your CRM solution, you will find sales, customer service, marketing, and the field service. And also you will find a sub processes, also sub modules inside it. And this is what we are going to discuss very shortly. Plus, Microsoft offers the cloud for different industries, where you will see the healthcare product which Microsoft offers, the different line of the product, different line of the solution which comes with the healthcare, manufacturing, financial services, non-profit organization, retail, and even for the sustainability. So these are the all cloud-based industry level, you can say, solution that you will find within the Microsoft technology. And a part of it, Power Platform, you have it where you have the capabilities to use the Power Automate, means to configure, set up any workflow, whatever is needed, that you can use the Power Automate. Then you have the Power BI, AI models, application development by using the Power S and the Power S mobile, and the portal for the web interface, Dataverse, Power Visual Agent. So that's the all thing you will come here in the Power Platform. Now, what the Microsoft is doing, Microsoft is putting everything under the Power Platform, regardless what technology it is. So you will see, or you will find the experience of a different technologies under the Power Platform. Although there was a different you can strategy was there, now everything comes under the Power Platform in the meanwhile. Okay. But if you want to see the broader look, how many apps are there, so you will find this but complete you can say the diagrams. And thanks to Vadim who prepared this particular diagram to just to understand what are the ERP solution, inside the ERP solution, what are the main components, or what are the main modules, plus the feature that you will see it here. So this is what you can find it there over the internet also, and we will also post this particular you can say PDF, which was you can say prepared by Vadim on our OneDrive, and you can get the reference from there. But let's talk about the CRM solution. Mainly, we are talking about the sales, customer service, field service, and marketing. And you will see each and every segment which is going to be happen. So let's talk about what's there in the sales management. So sales normally start with inquiry till the execution. Then you have the reports, you have the insights, you have the forecasting, you have all management of the KPI. So it's a combination of different features and the capabilities. Similar for the customer service as well as for the field service and the marketing. So previously in our last, you can say sessions, we have covered 2 different modules, one is the sales and the customer service. And you can also watch our, you can say previous sessions on the YouTube, even though you can also correlate the topics with our presentation there. And moreover, we are going to also looking forward to have the sessions on the field service and the marketing in a very near future. So this is all about the Dynamics 365, as well as just like introduction about Dynamics 365, as well as the ecosystem that it's going to be covered during the time that we are covering our workshops there. So now I would like to just ask Wahaj if he can continue with explanation about the development and what's we are going to do in our upcoming sessions.
Okay, so folks, yeah. Okay, in the last actually season, we covered some of the development, I would say aspects. So I'll just recap those, and then we'll be from the next session, we'll just begin or get into the actual exercises or uh, action, I would say. So first of all, before we begin, we need to understand the development terminologies we use during our season or our sessions. So first one is Power Apps. Everyone knows about it. Everyone hears it a lot, but just to be on the same page, so Microsoft, what is a Power App? So Power App platform is a solution. It's a no code or low code application development platform provided by Microsoft. It's there from last maybe 4 5 years now, I guess. But recently, or in last couple of years, I would say it has evolved a lot. Like it's called Power App Platform. We have Power Automate in that. We have then applications that you can develop in the Power App. We have connectors. We have custom connectors, so on. So so Power Apps is the platform where we can develop no code or low code applications uh, using Microsoft ecosystem. Okay. So another term is Canvas app. So in Power Applications or Power Apps, we have mainly three kind of applications. One is Canvas app. The other is modular or model driven apps. And then we have portal apps. Portal apps I've not listed here because that's totally different topic and we might cover it in some other session. In this series, we are only going to focus on mostly on model driven apps and then some part of Canvas apps. So Canvas apps are kind of standalone apps that you can build on Power Apps using Power App Studio, where you will connect it to one or more data sources, and it will have a very structured way where you can design your views and pages. We call it page screens. In the screens, you can add layouts. From layouts, you can create, edit, or create forms, and again it can connect to multiple sources. So Canvas apps are mostly usable when you want to kind of create, I would say, standalone apps which can be used either on mobile or tablet or on the web. But yeah, it really runs good on tablet and mobiles. So that's one. Secondly, the model driven app is not a standalone app. I would say it's an app which runs on Dataverse. So what is Dataverse first? So Dataverse is Microsoft's online database, or it's, I would say, data model where you can easily store data, share data, and build applications on top of it. So Dataverse is I would say, um, pre packed with some tables which is part of Dataverse, or previously it was known as Common Data Service, Common Data Model. There was multiple names. Now it is, we agree that it's called Dataverse. So, so if, for instance, if I create a new uh, Dataverse instance, it will not be empty. It will have a number of tables in it by default, like account, contact, then user table, some other like business unit, so on. But it won't have all the tables that we see in the customer engagement apps or marketing app or field services or customer service. So in short, it's a database stored online. uh, on top of it, we can add components which will visualize this data. We can create business processes on top of this data. We can create business rules. We can do low code and extended code applications for model app. Canvas app is either no code or low code, but the model driven apps can have very advanced level code components behind the scenes also. So if I say as an example, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales or Sales Hub is a model driven app. Similarly, the marketing, Dynamics 365 marketing or customer services or field services others are also model driven apps. They also run on Dataverse, but they definitely add their own tables and other features to that Dataverse uh, platform. So if I say if I'm using a sales instance on the same Dataverse instance and I install marketing on top of that, it will also install multiple tables, processes, plugins, so on to that particular instance. So it will keep expanding. Then of course you can do your own development and expand your Dataverse environment. Okay. Okay, so Power App Studio. So Power App Studio is the studio where we design the Canvas apps, the portal pages. The model-driven apps has their own app designer, which is called simply as App Designer. And yeah, it has two interfaces. One is known as classic interface. The other one is the modern interface, which works within the Power App portal, which is known as make.powerapps.com. Okay, I'll just move on now after the terminologies. So just to sorry, this is important. I know the Power Apps is the platform. The Canvas apps is the apps which are developed standalone mostly and run on tablets and mobiles. But this can also be connected to Dataverse. It doesn't mean it cannot connect to Dataverse. It can connect to either an Excel file. It could be connected to a SQL Server database online on on-premise or any other supported sources. The model-driven apps is runs on Dataverse. The Dataverse is the Microsoft's online database. And yeah, Power App Studio is the portal where we design all these applications. Okay. Okay, now what kind of development scenarios we usually see in the Power Apps platform, model-driven apps, or Dynamics 365 customer engagement? When I say customer engagement, that covers your sales, customer service, field services, and there are more applications also associated with it. Uh, yeah. So, what kind of development scenarios we see, and what kind of scenarios mostly we are going to cover in this particular sessions? In these particular sessions. So first is of course very simple scenario. See, I understand maybe some of you are already developers, but still, if anyone who doesn't have experience, to tell them like this could be as simple as adding new fields, adding new forms, updating the fields, updating the forms, creating new tables, their relationship. We can cover it, or we can simply call it the data modeling or entity modeling. Then there could be business rules like we show height fields based on some particular condition. This could be, um, or we lock a section, we lock a field, we show a form, we switch to another form. So these kind of things are covered in business rules. Business rules are usually can be easily designed using one simple interface from a designer without writing any code. But there are some scenarios where we also have to write JavaScript for more extended features. As an example, I mean, you can show hide a field using a business rule, but you can't show hide a full section using uh, business rule. So for that, you have to write the JavaScript. Okay. So another scenario is like sending a notification when a record is created or updated. This can be covered in either processes, workflows, or Power Automate. Uh, yep. So this is another example of a developer scenario. Then there could be a custom logic or custom process that we need to call based on a specific trigger. So this is covered again using either Power Automate. We have real-time workflows. We have background workflows which are going to be obsolete, so we do not use it now. We try to use Power Automate if possible, but there are still if you are running older versions. So yeah, real background workflows are still a thing. Then plugin is a custom code that again runs on a specific trigger. This is real C# code that you can write, and on specific triggers, this will be automatically executed and support your overall business logics. Okay, then we can also look into the portals where we can provide limited access to external users. So originally, the Dynamics 365 application, the model-driven apps are designed for internal or your organizational users. You can create, now we have a privilege to create guest users, but that again will be registered as your in your Active Directory, and you have to assign them these users a license. But there are scenarios when you want your customers to or your partners to access some of your data or do some operations like creating a reporting a issue, uh, approving in court, signing a contract. So these kind of scenarios can be definitely uh, covered using Power Apps portals. Then the data integration is also one of the development scenarios where we can integrate Microsoft Dynamics 365 or Dataverse or Power model-driven apps data to an external system. There could be multiple methods. We can push data from this particular platform on a certain trigger, or an external application can fetch that data. So these are some of the development scenarios. There could be more, definitely. Okay. Now, if we look at the development levels, so this is not a hard and fast rule here, but just to give you a some understanding that usually we use these words from, I don't know, I'm using it since I started this thing. So one is customization. So customization is what where we do all the entity or data modeling. I mean, we design tables, we add fields, we create relationships. Then there are forms and layout changes. Like these changes are related to views or designing forms, working on the forms, business rules, then processes. Then there is something called extended development where we can create custom controls based on HTML, jQuery, or now we have something called uh, Power Apps Component Framework, or in short, PCF controls. These are the controls based on mostly React or Node.js, which we can integrate into model-driven apps or Dynamics 365. Then we have plugins where we write custom codes, as I discussed earlier. Then integrations and portal development. Uh, Okay, then because the platform already provides you the import export functionality using Excel, CSV, XMLs. But if we want to do this programmatically, then again it's kind of advanced scenario. And the last one, which is ISV solutions, where you design your product on top of either Power App platform or model-driven app or Dynamics 365. For instance, let's say if you want to create a solution which is vertical, which is totally dedicated to retail, real estate. So this is something we can create as a ISV solution and publish it on Microsoft's App Source, from where user can other businesses can utilize that feature either free or they can buy it. So that totally depends. So ISVs are solutions are something which can be available on the marketplace. There are certain rules and configurations and protocols we have to follow if we are building a ISV solution. Okay. Okay. So what kind of skills are required for which level? So based on the levels, I'm clarifying here what kind of skills will be needed. So first look at the no code. If you even if you do not have any development experience, you can do entity modeling. Of course, you had to, I would say you must have the basic knowledges of how databases works or how you should model your data. If you know that, then entity modeling does not require any kind of coding. By entity modeling, again, I mean you can create new tables, you can modify existing tables, you can create views, you can create forms, you can add basic business rules, you can create processes. When I say processes, that means it could be as simple as soon as you have received a lead, you want to send a notification to certain users. That can be done without writing a single line of code. It could be as complex as soon as you receive a lead, you want to send it to send a particular notification, assign it to a particular team based on some rules, or you want to then you want to create another a task for a particular team member. So I mean, this can also be the number of things can be done without writing a single line of code. uh, then of course Power Apps or portal, if you want to use the out of the box feature, that again comes without writing any kind of code. uh, yeah. but there are scenarios where you have to write code. But most of the basic scenarios, if you want to display data for external users, your partners, your customers, you can configure Power Apps portal without writing a single line of code. So your entity modeling, your forms, your views, your business rules, your processes, Power Automate flows, your portal does not require coding. Yes, that's one way of saying this. But again, for some extended scenarios, even for your views, sorry, for your forms, as I said, if you want to hide a full section, then you need a code. So most of the things can be done, or I would say, hence a number of things can be done without writing a code. But if you need extended work, definitely we need to write some code. Okay. Then I would say the limited development experience. You have limited development experience, you can definitely do low coding. You need to understand the basics of JavaScript, and you can go ahead and start writing your own business rules, or really complex business rules, which is again done in a very simple manner. It's not complex. Then if you know HTML, JavaScript, jQuery, you can create your own controls using web resources. Web browsers are like custom, I would say, HTML pages that can be embedded on Dynamics 365 or model driven apps on a page, on a dashboard, on a view. So the benefit of having a web resources in this, you will get all the context from your model driven or Dynamics 365 app, and you can use that to show relevant data, to apply some filters on. So these kind of things can be done with limited development experience. Then for extensive development, uh, where we need to write, some few more lines of code, you have to have either C sharp experience for some of the components, which is C sharp.net is required for plugin and custom code activities. The plugins are piece of, I would say, DLLs or assemblies or libraries which run on a specific event, like create of a contact, update of a contact, qualify of a lead, reactivation of a lead, so on. So that runs automatically. The custom codes are again piece of code which runs as a step in a workflow. So we'll cover this in detail. What's the difference between a plugin or a custom code? So then the Power Apps portal, there also, if you want to do advanced customization, you should know some of the template languages like Liquid. But if you're not using Liquid template, that's fine. Otherwise, you have to embed sometimes your JavaScript, CSS, that's also there. And again, you can support Power Apps portal with plugins and your custom code activities also for some of your logics. Okay, then the PCF control development is not C sharp, it's totally Node.js, React, Fluent UI. So this requires more of a Node.js and JavaScript kind of serve JavaScript and TypeScript uh, expertise, where you can create your own controls. These are React based controls, so this works really cool in uh, model driven apps or Dynamics 365. Then for custom integrations, it could be multiple things. It could be you can connect with the OData endpoints or web API, we call it in Dynamics 365 model driven app, or you can use a tooling connector, which is available in Microsoft Dynamics 365 SDK, which can be installed from NuGet as a NuGet package from uh, NuGet library. So this is another way of integrating a third-party application with Dynamics 365 or modular apps, model-driven apps. Then the custom portal development. In some cases, as if you say, if you do not go for Power Apps portal, it could be anything. It could be pricing, it could be some other limitations. Then you can also build your own portal. Your portal could be either an ASP.NET portal, it could be React or Node.js based portal, it could be a PHP portal. So using Dynamics 365 Web API, it's more of an integration that we can do. So yeah, that is also something which definitely requires extensive development experience. Okay, so what kind of development tools and SDKs we are usually use? So as you see in the previous slide, the most of it is either no code or I would say low code. So for due to this purpose, you usually do not have to directly go into a uh, code editor. So what we use is either the Power Apps platform, which is either make.powerapps.com, which is we call it Power Apps Studio, or we go to the Power Automate, which is flow.microsoft.com, emaflow.microsoft.com. You can also use the Power Apps Studio to create flows. It doesn't matter. You can use the both sides. Um, then for even for the business rules or for your entity modeling, either you can do with the Power App Studio, or there's a classic interface also available, which we'll discuss in upcoming sessions. So again, no other tool is required. As soon as you have a web browser, you can just get into it and start working on it. Yes. The next one I will cover first, which is JavaScript. As I said, for some extended business rules or form triggers, you have to write JavaScript. For that, of course, it's preferable to use some kind of editor. It could be your choice. You can start with even the Notepad or Notepad plus plus, but I highly recommend the VS Code. But again, that's up to you which one you use. So that sounds good with JavaScript. If you're more seasoned developer and you are already using C Sharp.net and you're used to Visual Studio Professional or the yeah, so you can use that also for your JavaScript and C Sharp. Okay, there is one thing called Dynamics 365 SDK, which is a set of libraries first of all, which comes as NuGet packages that you can install in your .NET solution, and you can use multiple libraries to do different kind of operations. One is, let's say, just to connect with your Dynamics 365 or model driven app. Second is to connect second is to write your custom plugins, plugin codes, or custom code activities, which will run as a code on a specific trigger. Other than that, the SDK also has something called plugin registration tool. So once you create your own code, a piece of code, if you need to now hook it or register it against a particular event in the Dynamics 365. For example, as I said, as soon as a lead is created, you want to trigger a piece of custom code that has to be registered. So for that, we have to use plugin registration tool, which is also part of Dynamics 365 SDK. If you download the SDK, you will also get some sample codes which are already available on the GitHub. So yeah, so that's more or less that's covered in the SDK part. Uh, then for this from the skills point of view, if you need to write plugins, you need to know C Sharp.net. For business rules, extended business rules, JavaScript is good to have. Then for web resources, HTML, CSS is required. For PCF controls, we need Node.js, we need React, and then the understanding of web APIs is required. If you already worked on an OData endpoint or maybe a REST API, where you are good to go. This is similar in mostly similar, so you should not look alien to you. Then understanding of this is a very basic one. If you are not from a development background, you have a very basic knowledge of how an web application works. Like uh, as simple as like there is the client, the page is loaded on a client. What is your client? It could be it's your browser, of course. It could be Chrome, it could be Edge, it could be some other browser, Safari maybe. So and then there is a middle layer, and there is data layer, and there are APIs, so on. So if you have basic understanding of these things, you can definitely go ahead and do a lot of development. But even if you do not have this basic understanding, you can go ahead, create fields, you can do business rules without writing any line of code. Okay. Okay, now we'll just quickly cover the architecture, or this particular architecture is for the cloud version of Dynamics 365. So there are a lot of things here if you see. But just to start with, the dynamic, as Adnan already explained to you what is Dynamics 365. But just to give you a overview, Dynamics 365 is part of Microsoft's suite, where we get the line of business applications like sales, customer service, field service, finance and operations, project service automation, retail, marketing, artificial intelligence, mixed reality, customer insights, business central, and there are a lot more. And I mean, every year Microsoft is adding more to this suite. their Dynamics 365. So like Microsoft 365 or Office 365, we have Excel, we have Word, we have projects, we have forms. Like that, we have Dynamics 365 series where all the business related applications are available. If you look at the Office 365 here, uh, okay, then the Office 365, as I explained you, for Dynamics 365 is now based on mostly Power Platform. Finance and operation is still not on the Power Platform, but the Power App Automate or Flows still support it. Then the common data service here is the part where we discussed Dataverse is the data, or this is your online data stores. So the benefit of having Dataverse data store on online databases, even if you have SQL Server online version, the problem is to access that data, you have to write your own logic, right? You have to write your APIs or a middle layer which will read data from SQL Server, which will write data to SQL Server or any other database, could be Postgres or anything. The benefit of having Dataverse is it by default comes with a UI. All the logics are already written with basic logics like creating a record, updating a record, deleting a record, bulk edits, export, and then a lot more functionality which is already available by default. You do not have to do anything there. So that's why Dataverse is useful. Okay, then we have some industry solutions which comes under Azure services. There are machine learning things. There are machine speech and cognitive solutions that will cover maybe some other things. So, but this is all ecosystem, Microsoft ecosystem system, which is connected with each other. So, benefit of having on Microsoft's architecture or ecosystem is everything is connected or it can be connected using Flow, so which is a big deal for a lot of businesses. Okay, yeah, this part is actually I just zoomed in on the mostly on the Dataverse and Power Platform. So Power Platform has the Power BI, which is your reporting and visualization tool, which can connect to Dataverse, to Dynamics 365 applications, custom data sources like SQL Server, Postgres, Amazon S2, Redshift, then Azure Synapses, which is your data lake, so on. Then Power Apps, we already discussed. You can create your Canvas apps, you can create your portals, you can create your model-driven apps. All the Dynamics 365 applications from customer engagement are created on top of Power Apps. Then there is Flow or Power Automate, which can be used for integrations. Again, no code is required here. Then the common data service is a data store, which gives you all the APIs, tables, fields, views, forms readily available. Yeah. Okay. Then from the on-premise architecture point of view, I'm not sure of how many you have worked on the on-premise is basically a three-tier ASP.NET based web application where we have a database, which is SQL Server. The data layer is consists of metadata and data. There are filtered SQL views created on top of that, which can be used for reporting. As a middle layer, we have synchronous and asynchronous services with ports of your all of your processes and workflows. Uh, we have all the business entity component, data access components as part of middle layer. Then we have the front end, which could be web, Outlook, mobile, integrated applications, and then reporting and dashboarding tools, chart tools. So that's all. The on-premise seems to be very simple. In looks simple because uh, it is not connected to a lot more applications. But in real life, if I say, the online version is more simple as a developer or even for a user because all of this stuff is hidden from us, and that is something Microsoft takes care of it. So for instance, if you are on an on-premise version, you have to be really careful, right, writing, um, doing any changes to your servers because that can impact performance. You should be knowledgeable to understand how load balancer works, so on. If your farm is big, this requires more, uh, expertise. And another thing is on-premise, I would say, is still behind in terms of features from the online version. The online version gets all the latest features before the on-premise.
Now, what we are looking forward from next week, and this session is going to be keep continuing every Tuesday. And if there is any special session that we are going to schedule, so definitely we'll keep you posted with the update. So might be possible that we are expecting that we will also include the guest speaker by the time that we are covering all the topics. So even though you can be also be a guest speaker, and you can be a part of it. This is the opportunity that you will have it for. It's open for everyone, but we will also cover our topics that it is aligned. So in next week, we will see the business rule, how it is going to be applied with the different set of the entities, different set of the actions that needs to be taken. It's just like a no code that we are going to do it, but by the time that we are going to cover in the next level, it's a processes. So we will also combine that one. But in the next session, we will look into the details about the business process flows, either on the sales, customer service, even though for any you can say custom entities or system related entities. And the week after, we will start our work on the JavaScript. We will be conducting two sessions on JavaScript. One is the basic, then there will be a advanced one. So during the month of August, it will be a complete development and the customization. Then we will move further. Just to refer, all of the you can say the content like this presentation as well as the future scheduling. It will be keep updating on the OneDrive, so you can bookmark that particular link which is already shared, and even though it will be keep sharing with you. And for this recording of this session, it will be posted by you can say within next couple of days. Right. So thank you. Really appreciate again, once again, and see you next week.
See you guys. If you can connect through any of the channels if you need. Till then, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.